The former American First Lady Michelle Obama has released a video message called Closing Argument. She makes the case for why American voters should choose Joe Biden over Donald Trump.
The one thing this president is really, really good at is using fear and confusion and spreading lies to win.
Obama was First Lady while Joe Biden was Vice President, and she says he has the heart, the experience, and the character to lead, and that the drama of the past few days has only emphasized what's at stake in this election, from the coronavirus to a constant drumbeat of fear, division, and chaos that's threatening to spiral out of control.
They're stoking fears about Black and brown Americans, lying about how minorities will destroy the suburbs, whipping up violence and intimidation, and they're pinning it all on what's been an overwhelmingly peaceful movement for racial solidarity. What the president is doing is once again patently false. It's morally wrong. And yes, it is racist. But that doesn't mean it won't work.
Michelle Obama also said today her heart goes out to all the people who work at the White House, the Secret Service and the resident staff. Their service, she says, should never be taken for granted. The virus continues to spread in Washington. Today, the top U.S. general, along with other senior military staff at the Pentagon, announced they are in self-isolation. The White House cleaning staff wore hazmat suits to sanitize the press briefing room. And we got an update on the president's health. According to his doctor, Trump had a restful night at home after being released from the hospital and has no symptoms today. As Jackson Proskow reports, Trump is intent on putting on a show of strength, knowing the election is less than a month away.
Unmoved by his own experience with the virus, an emboldened and likely still infectious President Trump has embraced full-on denialism.
Don't let it dominate you. Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it.
In a morning tweet, Trump went further, exaggerating the death toll of the seasonal flu and suggesting we have learned to live with it and should do the same with COVID-19. A sign he plans to portray himself as a strongman against a pandemic that has killed 210,000 Americans.
We have essentially politics infecting our public's health. This is a disaster for public health in general.
It's also now a national security threat. At the Pentagon, 7 senior military leaders, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, are in quarantine after their own exposure. Several of them had been at the White House for this maskless indoor ceremony on September 27th, the day after that now infamous Rose Garden event.
There are more cases coming out of the White House these days than in entire other countries. And that's simply because we're not choosing to fight this pandemic. We're choosing to accommodate it.
Incredibly, the White House, with all its resources, has refused to undertake contact tracing or notification, even as cases now spike in Washington, D.C. The administration is also refusing to give any information about the president's own history of testing.
We need to be taking samples. Those swabs that have diagnosed them as positive have very important information that could tell us exactly how this virus was introduced into the White House, and that genetic information could be used to explain exactly who transmitted it to whom.
The president's defiance of the virus comes as polls show him slipping even further behind Joe Biden. One survey out today has him 16 points behind. At the same time, though, there's still a strategy to try and carry on with the presidential debates. The president says he will travel to the next one, although there's likely to be a squabble over debate preventative measures surrounding COVID-19. Tomorrow's vice presidential debate has already descended into a bit of a squabble over whether or not the candidates should be protected behind plexiglass screens. Donna?
Okay, lots to come. Jackson Proskow in Washington, thanks.